What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome to the newest episode of the Realistic Rebuilds. This week, we are back and at it with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I was going to do the Rams. Rams are, we have the Vikings, we have the Rams, we have the Jags, and we have the Cardinals left. We might have one that I'm missing, but I'm pretty sure that's what we have left. And I've been trying to do an AFC, NFC thing, but obviously we have still more teams in the NFC. And I was like, why don't we do the Rams, just in case they win, before the Super Bowl. But I'm kind of figuring maybe the Rams will be the team we'll do next week. If they win the Super Bowl, because then we could just start from them winning the Super Bowl and trying to win a dynasty. So I just felt like it was a little bit better to prolong the Rams. And that being said, we're hitting you with back-to-back NFC North rebuilds. Last week we did the Packers, which was a successful rebuild. Now it's time to do it here with Mr. Mike Zimmer. Mr. I got a bad eye, Popeye over here, and his Minnesota Vikings. So looking at the Vikings roster, first things first, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has never been a good quarterback in the sim, and he has a horrific contract. One thing I'm noticing with Kirk Cousins' deal is look at the savings here year one. I don't know what the contract, how it's going to change, but I feel like, my God, I might want to get out of this contract sooner than later. Like, we're not going to win with Kirk Cousins. I think most Minnesota Viking fans at this point are unhappy with the Kirk Cousins deal. We all saw he is what he is. The Vikings could have went to the playoffs if they beat the Chicago Bears, and Kirk Cousins had like 100 yards passing in that game. That's what you gave, like, the most guarantees. And, it was a terrible deal. And, originally, bringing in Kirk Cousins, you can't really fault the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, you can fault him for the contract, but Kirk Cousins was potentially and probably the biggest fish at the quarterback spot, and they needed one. But I think most, in retrospect, in hindsight, most Minnesota Vikings fans probably would have rathered Case Keenum on a more affordable deal than what they got out of Kirk Cousins this year. So what we're going to do, we'll probably gamble with them this year and hope to get a new quarterback ASAP. At the running back spot, we have Dalvin Cook, who's an absolute stud. Usually he's one of those 99 overall running backs, but you never know. In the sim, running backs start to slow up a little bit. Latavius Murray and Dalvin Cook's definitely one of the better 1-2 punches in the league. Our receiver, we get Adam Thielen, who's really good. Obviously, that age at 28 is not ideal for a rebuild, but he should be good for at least, for sure, the first 3 years, probably the first 4, and maybe come year 5, he could be like a really good slot wide receiver. Stefon Diggs is a baller, 24, perfect age. Brings that star dev. He's going to be unreal. From that, obviously, we got Laquan Treadwell, 72 normal. Has been a bust. A lot of people thought he was the best wide receiver a couple of years ago, coming out of the draft out of Ole Miss. Very slow. Hasn't really put it all together. But we'll give it an opportunity. We'll make him our wide receiver 3 and see what he can do. We got Braden Zylstra from up here in Canada. Yeah, shout out to him. CFL All-Star. Tight end, we got Kyle Rudolph's one of the better, I actually kind of think at this point in time, a little bit underrated tight ends in the league. The age of 28 is a little worrisome for the rebuild, but he should be good for the most part. And then we got the Minnesota Vikings. They're not good. I'm actually surprised at this point in time. Everyone knows when you go to free agency, you see the Redskins and you see the Dolphins overbidding on everyone. I'm surprised the Minnesota Vikings aren't there because between the Kirk Cousins deal, the money they paid Riley Reef, and the money they paid Mike Remmers, good God. When you look at the offensive line, there's just a lot of money here. Hopefully, Pat Elflein and Brian O'Neill can develop because they are 2 young players I think are somewhat promising. But ugly contracts from Mike Remmers. They overpaid vastly for Riley Reef coming over from the Detroit Lions. There's some very ugly contracts on this Minnesota Vikings team. Defensively, really good. Danielle Hunter should be one of the best. That's one of the things. Is it Danielle? Is it Danielle? Danielle's obviously the girl. We'll call him. I've literally asked this on Twitter last year. I never got a conclusive answer. So, Danielle Hunter, we'll go with that. I like that because obviously Danielle, we're making fun of him for being a girl, and I think actually more often than I do call him Danielle. So is that it though? Can I get a verdict? Verdict, please. Danielle Hunter, 89 overall. Also brings that star dev. He's a freak of nature. Super good, man. He feels like he's been in the league for 3 years and he's 23. Everson Griffin, he's gonna be a placeholder for the time being. Good player, but the age is not great. Sheldon Richardson, 27-87. We actually might look at re-signing him as a long-term option because Linval Joseph's still very good. One of the best nose tackles in the league, but he is 29, unfortunately. Look at the linebacking core. We have Anthony Barr, who is set to, in real life, probably become a free agent. We'll see if we can work out a deal with him because he's really good. Eric Kendricks kind of has an ugly contract in terms of his overall, but he does have a quick dev. I think we'll be able to turn around his career, and wow, that is a terrible no-face scan for him. Ben Gideon's not bad, 77, 23 with a normal dev. I mean, we should, looking forward, have decent linebackers here. Xavier Rhodes, 87. I think that's a little bit low for him, but I know he didn't have a great year this year. He's 28, so he's probably not going to be a super long-term option, but he's good for the time being. Trey Wayne, so you got 79 quick. Might be able to develop him into something nice. But if not, we got Mackenzie Alexander and obviously Mike Hughes, who they use the first-round pick on as our second. So there's a lot of... And hey, you even got Holton Hill, undrafted free agent out of Texas, 73. So like we're definitely good when it comes to the cornerback spot. Safety, Sendejo is not bad, but that age is a little bit not great. So here, what's Anthony Harris? What's his dev? Normal. We'll probably have to figure something out here at free safety. And at strong safety of Harrison Smith, who is 29. But I think he's going to be one of these players that's going to maintain his value throughout the rebuild. Like year 5 will probably still be like 87, 88. So I don't think we have to worry too much about the strong safety spot. Special teams are above average. That's the Minnesota Vikings, man. So ultimately, you got to try to find a way to get up some of these ugly contracts, especially on the offensive line. And I'm telling you right now, unless I am absolutely stunned, Kirk Cousins is not going to be our quarterback for, or at least our end game quarterback for this rebuild. So that being said, let's get into the rebuild of the Minnesota Vikings. The realistic rebuild. So year 1, about the midway point, 2-4-1. Yeah, that's what you paid for Kirk Cousins. Look at that contracts here. I don't even know what our base salary cap is. At 36. So we're gonna start here with Sheldon Richardson, which you got him. We want Anthony Barr for sure. These are pretty much our 2 big dogs that we want to invest a lot of money in. Outside of that, I mean, you don't want to. Harris is kind of an annoying one because I know that he's probably gonna be like, let's just say, by the time that we move on from Sendejo, he's going to be, next season, the end of the season, he's probably going to be like in the 78s. Whereas Anthony Harris is going to be, what, screw it. We're signing Anthony Harris. We're going to sign Anthony Harris. And then hopefully it works out. And at the end of year number 1, surprise, surprise, we didn't make the playoffs. 8-7-1. You know what? Honestly, that's kind of where I felt like we would be. Like we're not a bad team. Clearly led by that defense. 84 base too. We had some good development. Brian O'Neill's up to an 80, Elfline 78. So the 2 guys on the offensive line that I thought would develop have. Diggs has developed pretty decently, as has Dalvin Cook, a couple points there. We didn't get one single upgrade for Kirk Cousins, which is stresses even more that we need to get out of his contract. On the defensive side, actually, really no one grew well outside of probably Sheldon Richardson, who went from 86, I believe, to an 89. Looking at our season stats here, Kirk Cousins, I mean, not horrible, not great. 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 picks. We got 1,000 yards, 3 touchdowns from Cook, 460 and 13 vultured away by Latavius Murray, but overall a good rushing attack. Good wide receivers don't play well, so our 290s, of course, heaven forbid they go over 1,000 yards. Defensively, 122 tackles from Eric Kendricks leading the team. We got 6 sacks from Joseph, 6 from Griffin. My God, Daniil Hunter only 3. Turnovers in the secondary were pretty good, though. Quick look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Mr. Todd Gurley. We don't need to bother. We'll get Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year went to Todd Gurley. We're going to have very many people here, ladies and gentlemen. Khalil Mack got Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Josh Rosen. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Roquan Smith. And Mike Hughes. Hey, there we go. Mike Hughes coming in at number 9. Other than that, though, not a whole lot of production out of this team. And I'd better believe it, I'm going to be looking to find a way out of Kirk Cousins' contract every single year. But we'll might as well wait and see what's going to be available in free agency or maybe the draft. But we're not going to have a high enough pick, I don't think, to select on a quarterback. So we'll probably have to wait for future years. All right, we're here in the second round. Feel like if we need a QB, we haven't used him yet. Still a big name. We're going to go Drew Lock. 72 quick. Kirk Cousins sucks. That's all I can say. We got to go Drew Lock. He's going to be the guy that's going to win us all these titles. We did all of our business free agency-wise just on special teams. We brought in Jake Elliott from the Eagles, but here is an outstanding draft where, I'm not going to lie, I kind of had my draft class off the top of my dome in mind because I just recently tried to put some finishing touches on it. So in the first round, we got Cody Ford, tackle, 77 star from Oklahoma. Guy for me looks like the goddamn next Jason Peters. So hopefully with that, we can get Riley Reif's ugly contract off the books. Then in the second round, we got Drew Lock, 72 quick dev quarterback from Missouri. Going to be gambling that he can be our franchise starter because it's clearly not going to be Kirk Cousins. Third round, we got 75 quick dev wide receiver Kelvin Harmon from NC State. Tremendous value here in the third round. Probably should have gone in the second. Fourth round, we got Garrett Bradbury, who I think could be the best center in the draft class. 74 quick, great athlete, as you can see. We're probably going to make Pat Elflein one of our guards because Elflein played a couple different spots there on the offensive line for Ohio State. We got Devin Singletary here. I think he also has a quick dev. We got good dev traits who's going to come over and hopefully form a nice little tandem there with Dalvin Cook. And then we got Derwin Gregg, the guard from Maryland, another quick dev, even though he's only a 65. So a 10 out of 10 5-star draft for the Minnesota Vikings as we head towards another year where we hope we can contend for the NFC North title. Year 2 is here, and obviously the most drastic move that is going to happen, as our team overall is actually 1 point better than what it was last year when we started, is obviously Drew Lock here as our starter. Let's take a quick look at Cousins' deal. Let's get rid of him. Get rid of him. Free up $20-some million. That'll help us out when it comes to contract negotiations. But you know what? I actually kind of feel like there's a big growing segment of Viking fans that are down with that. As our team went down 1 overall, but it's Drew Lock's team right now. Rest of the offense looks good. Kelvin Harmon will be our 3rd wide receiver. Cody Ford there. Pat Elflein actually, I think, got 1 overall point boost going from center to guard. Garrett Bradbury will start. We still obviously have a hole there at right guard, but Mike Remmers is there for the time being. But overall, man, it's an all right looking offense. I mean, obviously not the youngest. You know, looking at Kyle Rudolph and Thielen, you know, they're both, you know, not going to be long-term options for us. But our offense still is pretty damn good. Defensively, 91. We did see some regression here from Everson Griffin and Linval Joseph, but everyone else is on the up and up. Hopefully, we can get some development here from either Waynes, Hughes, or Alexander to really take their game to the next level. Sheldon Richardson should be in the 90s. Linebacking course that they continue to develop. I fully expect Anthony Barr to be in the 90s as really good defense, man. And we know we did last year, 26 touchdowns and 8 wins on the season is what, you know, the very expensive Kirk Cousins brought us. Let's see what Drew Lock can do. He does have that quick dev, so let's hope throughout this year that he can progress. And, you know, I have a feeling if all goes well, he could probably very well be 76, 77, 78, somewhere in that territory come season's end. And with these weapons around him, let's hope and shoot for that Offensive Rookie of the Year award and get that dev trait boost as well. All right, so at the midway point, look at that, coming off a 38-14 victory. We are 5-2. So already immediately paying dividends, going with Drew Lock, who's got +2 throughout the year. Has yet to get an Offensive Player of the Week, which we have seen with some of these surprise quarterbacks. So I don't necessarily know how well his stats are, but we are currently front runners in a very competitive NFC North, which I'll take all day long. And with that decision to move on from Mr. Kirk Cousins' contract, that frees up a whole lot of money. That doesn't make me think twice about trying to re-sign Kyle Rudolph, even though he wants a little bit more money. Trey Waynes, for the time being, is as good of an option as we can get at corner. So we got him locked up. And, yeah, I mean, I figure Trey Waynes, Kyle Rudolph, that's pretty much all we need to worry about in terms of contract extensions. And we'll have a little bit of money to maybe splurge in free agency. So at the end of the year, we got to buy. Look at our record. 13-3. Show you. Just to always defend myself. No shenanigans. No Chip Kelly rebuild shenanigans. This is the mind of a rebuild god, knowing that Kirk Cousins, as an Eagle fan, seeing him long enough, is garbage. We go out in the second round. We grab Drew Lock. Now, looking at the awards here, we have 2 big ones that we talk about. First up, Daniil Hunter. Now he's going up to a 95 overall with the confidence boost. But because of his performance this year, I think he made the Pro Bowl, and he got that superstar dev trait, which is huge. So let's look at Drew Lock. Did Drew Lock, he got the +3. He got, oh, come on, Offensive Rookie of the Year, made the Pro Bowl, and we did not get a dev trade increase. Still on a quick. That is garbage. That is, I don't want to swear. That is garbage, man. What more do I need to do to get a Player of the Week? I mean, we'll be up to an 80 with the confidence boost here. I mean, there's a chance that maybe if we get a Player of the Week award during the playoffs run, he can. But a quick dev is still not, I just think that's not fair for how well he played this year. But how well did he actually play this year? Let's take a look here at his stats as we won the NFC North. There you go. Almost 4,000 passing yards, 35 touchdowns to 11 picks. There you go. Kirk Cousins sucks. We got 1,000 yards, 9 tutties from Dalvin Cook. 827 and 9 from Thielen. We almost got 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns from Stefon Diggs. 603 from the rookie Kelvin Harmon. Not a bad year from Kyle Rudolph as well. Defensively, our defense was very good. I think we had like 2 games we had shutouts this year. Rhodes and Kendricks both had 100 tackles. We got 12 sacks from Daniil Hunter, 9 from Sheldon Richardson. We got a good bunch of turnovers. Just very strong play from the secondary. Yearly awards, Todd Gurley got himself the MVP award with Drew Lock coming in at number 10. Did we get a Coach of the Year? Oh, look at that. Coach of the Year. Oh, Mike Zimmer. Oh, eye patch. Offensive Player of the Year went to Todd Gurley, with Drew Lock coming in at 9. I mean, I guess credit where credit's due. Kirk Cousins did come in at 10. Defensive Player of the Year went to Luke Kuechly, with Anthony Barr at 5, Kendricks at 6, Xavier Rhodes at 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Drew Lock, clearly. Calvin Harmon at number 3, I'll take that. Double Singletary at number 9. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Josh Allen, and we had nobody. So a huge year for the Minnesota Vikings. Who would have thought all it would take was Drew Lock to help them reach their potential, as we are now here in the divisional round at 13-3, hosting the 9-7 Atlanta Falcons. Alrighty, here we go. Big time playoff. I don't know how this team's going to play in the sim, but hopefully it resembles what I saw throughout the year, which is strong defense and a good enough offense. And of course, our defense is struggling out the gate, gives up 2 touchdowns. We're playing from behind, but nice little drive there from Drew Lock to pull back within 7. But our defense is not doing anything. They're not getting stops. We need them to get stops, but still we're only down 7 at halftime. Another red zone appearance for the team. I like the fact that we're not selling for field goals. We tied up at 21 apiece here as we enter the 4th quarter. Falcons get a quick lead. We equalize, make it 28-28. Would love our premier defense to get a stop, but no, they give up 35 points at home in the biggest game of the year, which is trashed here. Oh, God. The sim doesn't mean anything. It just makes everything not mean anything. That's what the sim makes, is we lose 38-28. Drew Lock, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's acceptable. But, hey, how about having the best defense in the league and then giving up 38 points at home? Fix the game, Matt. If this is the same shit at Madden 20, probably not going to play Madden 20 a whole lot. That'll show everyone complete transparency. I'm not letting the game mess me up there. I'm not letting it. We're giving him a star dev. There's no way in hell a rookie throws for 35 touchdowns, wins all those awards, and doesn't get a dev trade increase. That was garbage. So there you go. You saw full transparency. Say this rebuild's tainted, whatever you want. I'm not having that kind of performance on my gamble of a quarterback get robbed of a dev trade boost. All right, at free agency, we're going to splurge on someone who's kind of becoming a familiar face in the free agency period. Not so much in year 2 for whatever reason. I think we've got him a lot later. But that's going to be Yannick Ngakoue. We're not going to overbid, but Everson Griffin kind of getting up there in age a little bit, more so in a rotational role. So we currently are the leading bid. If we don't get him, it is what it is. We've used him before, so I'm not, super excited, super duper cooper excited to have him come in right away. But right now, if we can win him, that's going to be a huge get for our defense. So here is our draft recap after Ngakoue turned us down. We only used 3 picks. It was an incredibly weak draft class, so we're going to have a bunch of picks next year. We got a 73 normal dev safety in the 3rd round, just as depth. 75 free safety in the 2nd round. Maybe to potentially challenge Harris for the starting gig, but he has good speed, but probably more so a special teamer. But the big hit, we got a left tackle who was a 79 overall, which we converted to guard and made him Shane Lemieux, 79 quick dev guard, which really will complete our offensive line and give Drew Lock, our now star dev Drew Lock. First time I've ever done that. First time I've ever juiced some of my players in a rebuild, because that was probably the worst robbery of a dev trade I've ever seen, and now that'll be the last we'll ever talk about it. But Shane Lemieux will definitely complete that offensive line along with Cody Ford. You got Bradbury, Pat Elflein, and Brian O'Neill. The Vikings have gone from one of the worst offensive lines in the league to definitely one of the best young O-lines around. So as we start year number 3, our team is now up to a very nice 88 overall, 89 offense, 91 defense. On the offense, nothing really has changed outside of Lemieux coming in there at left guard. Cody Ford's up to an 82. I firmly believe everyone on this offensive line is going to be at least in the 80s, and all going to be under the age of 27 when all is said and done. Rudolph is starting to regress. He's good for the time being, but tight end will be a position of need. Thielen's holding on to his rating pretty good. Drew Lock is now a 79 star dev quarterback after 35 touchdowns. Offensive Player of the Year and a Pro Bowl appearance as a rookie. Dalvin Cook's in the 90s. Diggs might have a shot at the Gold Gloves this year. Harmon's developing as a very nice 3rd wide receiver. And on the defensive side, what we got? Linval Joseph and Everson Griffin probably going to need to look at replacing them this year. We tried with Everson Griffin, but unfortunately Ngakoue didn't want to come. Good secondary, obviously Xavier Rhodes, 91. Trey Waynes, 81. Hughes, 84. Harrison Smith is holding on to his rating pretty good there. It's a 94. Our linebackers are coming around. And hey, it's a real good team, man. And look at that. Shout out to the special teams. We got Jake Elliott, 85. You know what? The best kicker Eagles have had since David Akers. So here we are in week number 1. We got, 13 wins last year? See if we can do that again. Drew Lock magic time. The midway point of year number 3, a 3-5 record is nowhere near where we want to be. Maybe we're, guess we're 1 game back from a not great NFC North right now. So A big Week 8 victory of the Lions definitely helps, but that is not, is not where we want to be considering the results last year. Maybe let's just hope we can turn it around. Maybe this is going to be the year 4, like that random year 4 every year in a rebuild that's garbage. Maybe it's just happening a year early. Looking at contracts here, first up is Dalvin Cook, and we definitely need to retain him. He's played very well. Adam Thielen is, all honestly, he's still holding on to his rating pretty good, so we'll come back to the table and work out something there. Pat Elflein has been a very key part of our offensive line. Ben Gideon has developed nice as a linebacker. That's a reasonable deal. Holton Hill at corner. We'll give him, $4 million just because we know there's, the inevitable with Xavier Rhodes. That drop-off's probably going to be kind of annoying. So, yeah, we'll make sure we can hammer out a deal with Thielen. And because of no more Kirk Cousins, we're able to extend and make a lot of in-house re-signings. At the end of number 3, yeah, we weren't able to turn it around. We were a little bit more competitive down the stretch. 7-9, though, is from what? I think we were 13. We had 13 wins last year. Going to 7-9, that is not great. Drew Lock has more of a Kirk Cousins-like season. 3,600 yards, 29 touchdowns to 9 picks. Still better than the year Kirk Cousins had. It was supposed to be probably his best year. But definitely, anytime you see regression like that out of a young quarterback, especially, maybe the game's just punishing me for giving him that dev trait boost. I don't know. Dalvin Cook was outstanding this year. 1,300 yards, 14 TDs. No 1,000-yard receivers, but good production from Rudolph. Stefon Diggs, 9 touchdowns. Thielen, even though we did re-sign him, it's not exactly what we want to pay for. 700 yards, 4 touchdowns from Harmon's not bad. Defensively, you got 121 tackles here from Eric Kendricks, 3.5 sacks, 4 picks. Really big year there. 9.5 sacks from Hunter, 4 picks from Kendricks, 4 from Xavier Rhodes. So a pretty good season. Yearly awards, Todd Gurley got himself the MVP, and we had no one there. Probably no. We're not gonna have probably anyone show up on these awards, which is kind of lame. We did not. So, down year. Let's just kind of scrap this one, and hopefully this was the cursed year, and it won't be year 4, and have a big offseason. I just wanted to show you that, Patrick Mahomes at 99 is in free agency at $200 million. Whew. We're going big, though. We'll go in Marlon Humphrey. Not going to overpay, because obviously we already have good corners, but adding Marlon Humphrey to the secondary would be outrageous. And then Taco Charlton, a little bit undersized, but I'm going to move him in here to D-tackle. That's going to be the plan, or either or. That's going to be one of the spots we're going to look at. D-line, top priority in the draft. And whatever we don't get, be it a D under D-tackle, that's hopefully where Taco Charlton will fill in. Okay, so in the first round, I just want to show you this because it's the first time I've seen anything like this, I think, ever in Madden. We pretty much said we didn't, unfortunately, get Marlon Humphrey in free agency, but we did get Taco Charlton. And it looks like he's going to be staying at defensive end because look at this. DeAndre McKinney, first place in the 40. 483, and then 44. I've never seen 44 reps on the bench press. I've seen 38, maybe. I think 41's been the highest. This guy's gonna be crazy. There you go. 82 quick. DeAndre McKinney, 96 strength. It also comes with 79. Oh my, this guy's freaking nature. Terrifying player. All right, because this guy's such a monster, we're just gonna leave him as is. He's gonna now become known as the legend DeAndre McKinney. What a pick. The rest of the draft was not the greatest. What I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to take Harmon Jennings. He might be a potential safety tight end for us. A little bit of a safe change. I don't know yet. Let's see. I feel like his rating's going to absolutely go down the pooper, but we'll see what happens. Goes from a 72 to a 78. There we go. We got our potential replacement for Kyle Rudolph at the tight end spot. We got some all right picks here. Look at this. Donald Nevis. Big 6'6", 287, 76 normal out of Arkansas State. Woofed on this one. I mean, I literally had no scouting done. He had an all right combine, 64. So even though I'm not immune to a just terrible pick, but the rest of the draft class, very strong. And without a doubt, probably my favorite prospect, my favorite randomized prospect throughout this draft process. Mr. 44 reps, 96 strength, DeAndre McKinney from Oklahoma. So we are in weird year 4. Hopefully it's not the weird year like it usually is. Drew Lock, 84 overall. We got Dalvin Cook, 92. Stiggs is a 96. Thielen, not regressing too bad. Offensive line is looking like a goddamn thing of beauty. We're going to go with Jennings, actually. I converted wide receiver as our starter here at tight end. 90 overall base, 93 offense. Now taking a look at our 93 defense. McKinney will start along D-tackle with Sheldon Richardson. Taco Charlton, our free agency signing here at defensive end with Daniil Hunter, 98. Probably going to get himself a set of gold gloves. Mike Hughes has developed really nicely as he's up to an 88 overall. Obviously, Harrison Smith has been regressing quite a bit, but still in the 90s. I'd probably say the only surprising person on the defense is Anthony Barr. struggling to get into the 90s. But overall, very good defense, very good offense, very well-balanced team, and I firmly expect this team to get back in fighting in the playoffs yet again. So we are roughly through the midway point of year 4, 3-4-1. I'm sorry. We have done something to upset the Madden gods. I think it was this, so we're gonna give him back his quick dev, okay? We'll give him back his quick dev. Is he gonna start playing good again? Because I friggin' hope so. We are, we're not out of the NFC North race, but we're, 2 wins back. Looking at contracts here. First up, we do have Harrison Smith. We don't have a whole lot of money available in the old war chest here, but we'll try our best. Let's see if we can lock up Mike Hughes, which he did. Brian O'Neill would be another important one that we'll have to lock up. Other than that, I mean, we probably can let Anthony Harris go because we got Poindexter, who's not that bad. So, yeah, let's hammer out a deal here with Harrison Smith, and the rest of these guys can, enjoy playing elsewhere. So here we are at season's end, and we were able to go on a run and find ourselves back in the playoffs. But I shit you not. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, so we actually won the North off of a tie. But I think we might have just solved and figured out something here, because it was right here at the bye week when we're 1, 2, 3, 4, like 3, 4, and 1, right? We were 3, 4, and 1 at the bye week. I said, all right, we gave Drew Lock, even though he deserved it, we gave him that star dev trade. We took it away. We took it away because I thought Madden was messing us. So we went from a star dev trade on a quarterback, forced him back down to a quick, and to finish up the year, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 down the stretch. So if everyone knows there's heavy scripting in this game, can it go down to the dev traits? I mean, it is definitely a tinfoil hat theory here, because, I mean, maybe the team just got hot down the stretch. But I don't know, man. Anytime in Madden, when there's smoke, there's fire. And, hey, let me just say this way. If you're having one of those years where you have a 90-plus offense, 90-plus defense, and things aren't working out, hey, just start, taking away dev traits from some of your players and see if you start to get that little bit of a Madden rub. But I don't know, man. Maybe we just found something out. I don't know. We have a whole bunch of XP here for Mike Zimmer. Let's actually use that on, no. Let's use it on wide receivers. Let's use that boost. So with our second NFC North title of the year, good year from Drew Lock. 4,000 passing yards, 37 touchdowns to 9 TDs, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns from Dalvin Cook. Not a bad year from Devin Singletary as well. We got 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns from Stefon Diggs, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns from Kelvin Harmon. All right year from Jennings at tight end, new position to him. All right year from Thielen. On the defensive side, 111 tackles from Kendricks, 3 picks, a sack and a half. Sacks are definitely down, though. Sacks are hard to come. I don't know what it is, but sacks are kind of hard to come by here in the sim for whatever reason. And our boy McKinney got 4 sacks on the year. I like seeing that. Turnovers are down drastically. We've been like one of the best teams in terms of interceptions, and we had a down year. Baker Mayfield got himself an MVP award. We had no one. NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Ezekiel Elliott. Drew Lock coming in at number 8. What's this guy's name? Jesus Stewart. Defensive Player of the Year went to Bobby Wagner, with Eric Kendricks coming at number 10. And then, actually, let's see. Because he's becoming a guy that I think we're going to remember for quite some time. Let's see if our dude here showed up. There we go. Number 6 for DeAndre McKinney for Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. So here we go. Year 4. I mean, we're still in a sim scenario, but we're hosting the 13-3 Jesus Stewart-led New Orleans Saints here in the the wild card round in the NFC. Hey, let's see if our really good defense can actually play strong defense. All right. Drew Lock, this is your time. Get the job done. Settle for a field goal on the opening drive. Our defense already is looking better than they did the last time we made the playoffs 2 years ago, as we have a 10-0 lead. We're actually, come on, get the touchdown. There we go. Foot on the throats. Do not let up. Let's keep running the score up 24-zip at halftime. We are built for this, baby. We are built for this. Actually, you know what? Let's get the monkey at the back. For whatever reason, man, the Minnesota Vikings are, a lot of fans will agree, one of the more cursed teams. And in this battle, for an Eagle fan, we have a battle of who's the saltier fan base. The Vikings fans after we beat them last year, or the Saints fans after the kind of garbage game was the Rams lost in the playoffs this year. In the battle, we win. The Minnesota Vikings, 37-10, 3 touchdowns on the day for Drew Lock. Nice day there from Dalvin Cook, almost 120 yards on the ground. As we get the upset, the 9-7 team upsets the 13-3 team to move on to the NFC Divisional Round playoffs. Alrighty, divisional round, 13-3 Falcons. What happened the last time we took on a 13-3 team? We got the job done. So, okay, not feeling positive about this, but hey, we're only down 6. Down 6 at halftime. I've seen worse. Down more than 6 at halftime. I've seen worse. Come on. Let's go. Let's get that lead, baby, right here. Oh, we settle for the field goal. That's never a good sign, but it's keeping us in it. We're getting the red zone again. No! Stop settling for field goals. Tied for 20 apiece, but we've dragged them on long enough. And there's the turnover in our red zone that usually more than likely seals the fate, but we still have a chance with a minute 35 in the fourth, down 6. Can Drew Lock orchestrate a drive? And they do with 30 seconds on the board. We get the lead, and then with 30 seconds, Atlanta goes down the field and scores a touchdown. So we'll give them a shot here. We'll just come in. You know, likelihood of this actually happening, very low. God damn it, man. God damn you, Madden Sim. What do we have for speed here? Probably just got to throw up to Stefon Diggs. Probably all we can do. If we can even get a clean pocket, which we don't. And that's the game. All right, we're going to year 5 Super Bowl or bust time. I mean, we're in a string of successful rebuilds, so I hope this is going to be another one. 375 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day for Drew Lock. Very strong performance. But, of course, I mean, you know, it's one of those things. I don't want to say Madden Sim's going to Madden Sim anytime we lose the game. But, you know, you saw what happened. All right, so looking at free agency, our final free agency period. A popular name that we've yet to really sign, J.J. Watt. I don't know where I'm going to play him. If we bring him in, we could put him at the other defensive end. We could, I don't know. I honestly have no idea, but why not? Why not, right? And then we get Avonte Maddox here. Very good young corner for the Philadelphia Eagles. Most likely, though, I will be taking him and moving him to the free safety spot, where hopefully he'll get up into the 90s overall. All right, so after signing both Maddox and J.J. Watt, here was our draft. I'm not going to lie. I pretty much just set the board and let the computer do its thing, which he did a pretty good job here. We got a 75 tackle in the 4th round. Quick dev, Braylon Johnson from NC State. 75 D tackle in the 4th round from Louisville. We got a 75 running back in the 2nd round, Eric Sherrod. Drafting a little bit of a flyer QB out of Florida, Jacoby Petrus. But here's our pick. We got Moses Lodeholt, clearly Phil Lodeholt's son. 77 normal dev corner from Texas Tech. Again, just pretty much just, you know, showing that, you know, for at least for the one pick. Draft Kings over here. Year 5, Super Bowl or bust time. We are bringing a very talented team to the table. 93 overall with a 97 offense, 93 defense on that offense. You know, we drafted this. Cody Ford, 89. Lemieux, 85. Bradbury, 86. Alfline, 84. O'Neal, 87. Get our converted wide receiver at tight end. Thielen still there, 87. Drew Lock's an 88. Dalvin Cook's a 93. Stefon Diggs is a 97. Kelvin Harmon, 85. On the defensive side, we actually botched it a little bit, but it's too late now. We missed Danielle Hunter's 99 overall Gold Glove ceremony. Maybe that's what the curse is. We got our freak of nature D tackle, DeAndre McKinney, still doing the damn thing. We got J.J. Watt coming over as a free agent. We got Mike Hughes up to a 91. Xavier Rhodes, 89. Maddox, who we brought in as a free agent, 87. Kendricks, Barr, and Gideon. You know, the 3 starting linebackers from the beginning of the rebuild have been pretty damn nice. And Harrison Smith has regressed, but still playing at a good level with an 86 overall. So all in all, very good team. I would really like them to make the playoffs and give us an opportunity at winning a Super Bowl here for the Minnesota Vikings. But you always know, man, Vikings and the Viking fans, they think their franchise is cursed. So who knows? And at the end of year 5, we just barely scraped into the playoffs with a 9-7 record. Thankfully, Drew Lock playing the best football we think of his career with that +2, but we are runners-up in the NFC North. And looking at our stats here, Drew Lock was pretty damn good. Obviously, 4,000 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, 8 picks on the year. That's very, very good. Almost 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns from Dalvin Cook. That is unreal production. Thielen having a big year. Diggs did all right. Defensively, Eric Kendricks has been a tackle machine this whole rebuild. 16.5 sacks, 23 TFLs. That's why we paid to bring in J.J. Watt. That's an outstanding year. Secondary numbers are back up after a little bit of a down year last year. Yearly awards, Kyler Murray won himself the MVP award, taking over for Dak Prescott there in Dallas. Oh, boy. Drew Lock coming in at number 7 in the MVP race. Offensive Player of the Year went to Kyler Murray. Drew Lock at number 5. Defensive Player of the Year went to DeMarcus Lawrence with J.J. Watt at 2, Eric Kendricks at 3. Okay, we got some players. We have a shot, but we're going to have to go the long way. We're going to have to go the wild card route. So up first is the 10-6 Saints. Let's go. All right, we're picking this up already in a 7-7 game, and there we go. Connecting with Jennings, our converted wide receiver, now at tight end to give the Vikings a 14-7 lead early in the second quarter. Oh, we're going to let the sim. I feel like the sim can do its damn thing right now. We got the lead with the sim. In case he gets close, I will hop back in, but I feel it in the plums that the sim's going to be able to take over and win this game for us, which it clearly is doing a decent job so far here as we try our damnedest to choke the fucking game away. All right, after a big gainer, we are pretty close to field goal. We got Jake Elliott, who is 90+. If we can literally convert on this slant, which we're going to almost have to force it at this point, which we did, and it's a pick. Go to overtime. We had to, though. If we would have got that, we would at least had a shot with a field goal. Let's take it into overtime. We are now on offense. Jump in and play. You know what? Do the damn thing yourself. Do the damn thing yourself. Get the game done. I'm not going to walk your hand. If you're a cursed team, you're a fucking cursed team, and they're a cursed team. I'm not gonna prolong the inevitable. The Vikings are a cursed franchise in Madden. You cannot win a Super Bowl with them. Confirmed. It was weird because at the beginning of Madden cycle, the Vikings were like a top 5 team in ratings, and they'd always be bottom. They'd never make the playoffs, be last in their division. They're a cursed team. They pissed off somebody at EA. Maybe EA, the guy who was in charge of this, not only is a Charger fan, but maybe he also kind of likes the Eagles and was upset about the way the Vikings fans handled themselves last year after the playoffs. But a failed rebuild, the first one in quite some time. But I just know now, I'm an experienced vet, that when something is just, you know, the writing's on the wall in a sim, I'm not going to force myself through it. And we were up 31-10, I think it was, or 31-17, something like that, and they ended up choking the game in the fourth quarter. They don't deserve to win. They don't deserve to win. The team that I built does not deserve to win. Even though Drew Lock had a decent showing, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, Dalvin Cook, 133 rushing yards, with the ups and downs of Drew Lock getting a star dev, and then for whatever reason being terrible, and then taking that star dev off him, making him a quick, and then going on like a 6-2 streak to make the playoffs. Just weirdness, man. It's Madden 19's franchise mode, but it has been a while. I think this is our first loss in like 3 or 4 rebuilds, so it kind of sucks. Kind of pains to take one on the chin here. But it is what it is. So thank you guys for watching today's rebuild. Like I said, I think next week's will be the Rams. Win or lose the Super Bowl. It will be an interesting video to do. And then, like I said, we can wrap up with the Jags and the Cardinals. And then we can go into the new rebuild series, which I already know what we're going to be doing. I have 2 different types of rebuild series. Don't worry. Put it this way. Once we're done doing the final 32-ish teams, we've done a couple of their teams twice. You know, I've had the videos I've got taken down. I just redid them, or we just simply like with the Raiders where they get a bunch of draft picks. We might revisit a couple more rebuilds, but I got 2 new rebuild series that will carry us into the Madden 20 cycle, so don't worry about that. But I hope you guys did enjoy this rebuild. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too persistent on taking your bitch. Here comes a monster to scare you.